Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of When the Ship Hits the Fan. My name is Mark Jeffrey, and I'm here tonight with my gorgeous co-host from Florida, Linda Lehman. We want to welcome all of our new listeners. Welcome you to our show. We hope we're going to give you some value here tonight because tonight it's all about action. All about action because here's the thing. Success, it's in doing, not wishing. Okay, you got to get that straight right off the bat. See, a lot of people that I know, they make the changes when the pain of staying where they are becomes greater than the fear of moving on. And so they step into that uncertain future. You know, and we talk about that a lot here. Having your back against the wall is when you normally make the biggest strides. However, you have to remember that you started from back over there, not from here where you are. You went backwards. And so no matter what your circumstances are, you have to know something for sure, that you have the power to change your thinking and your doing habits. You have that power. And unless and until you get that straight, it's going to be really hard. Because, see, you can choose. You can choose to bring more of your creative energies into the things that you do or make happen. It's real simple. You can choose the direction you take in life and the projects that you undertake. All of them are an expression of who you are. So I don't know, Linda, why people are afraid of them. I just don't get it. Because I think one of the most important and powerful questions anyone who wants to start achieving can ask themselves each day is, what is the most important thing I can do today to take me nearer to my goals? And then what? Follow through with the actions. Linda, tell me this. If you were sitting in a space where you were unhappy or convinced yourself that you were somewhat happy, what would you do in order to change that trajectory of your life? Like, what would be the first thing that you would do?
Well, the first thing that I would do is, number one, be grateful that I have a space to sit in and contemplate this idea. In other words, I would start the spark of gratitude. And that in and of itself is taking somewhat of an action. But, Mark, I would also start asking myself the question, okay, what do I want to do? If this isn't working for me, if I'm unhappy or somewhat unhappy, then what is it that I really want in my life? And I would make a decision, think about it, and then make a decision. Oh, yes, I want that. And then, Mark, you know what I would do? I would start taking the first step toward it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the long leap that takes me from point A to point B in one step. But certainly if I take one step, then I know that the next step will follow. But, Mark, there's a caution here, and that is also while taking action, it's not busy work, number one. It's not just, oh, well, I was busy all day, so therefore I took action. No, it needs to be meaningful action or even inspired action that takes you closer to what you have decided that you actually want. But also that action doesn't need to be forced, Mark. I think so many people say, okay, well, this is what I want, and this is exactly how I'm going to get there, and I'm not going to waver on my path at all.
Yeah, it happens. And, you know, because I knew that we were going to do this show, it's funny, I was out today, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous day today. And, of course, today's the first day of fall, and it was like 32 degrees or something. It was just gorgeous. So, I mean, I took off today, and when, you know, walking through the forest, you know, the leaves are just starting to fall. But I started thinking about this particular show because I think people don't, I mean, they go, I've got to take action, but they don't really have a place to go. So there's a couple of things I thought about. It's like, here's what you can do, right? You can make a phone call to somebody, right, that you might think knows a little bit more about what you know. Ask some questions. Look for some books or ideas about someone who's done similar things that you want to accomplish, like having a mentor, creating a plan of action. And then when you're doing that, sorting through your own skills and abilities so that you can figure out what are you good at and what would you need help with. And, you know, that's going to pull your plan together. So what do? I mean, Linda and I, we don't just say, I know everything and I'm never going to do anything ever again that's going to, you know, give me any more knowledge. No, we attend a lot of seminars. We'd like to say that, but we can't. But we do. We attend seminars. We attend workshops. We're always looking for ways to, you know what? Here for me, Linda, it's more ways for me to be happy and comfortable and living my life. You know, everybody asks me on my own first personal pages, and when people call me and connect, and I'm sure this happens with you too, Linda, it's like, you know, really, will you guys take some kind of pills in the morning? Like, how can you just live a life like that? Well, because I choose to.
Mhm. You're right, Mark. You know, making the decision, making the choice to live an amazing life. If you think about it, it's really, I'd hesitate to say number one, but pretty darn close to number one on the action step to take toward anything. You choose to take that step. You choose to enjoy life. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're not here to wallow in self-pity or be depressed or anything. We are here to enjoy all of the beautiful, unlimited life experience that we have presented to us.
Yeah.
And there's so much out there, Mark. There's more out there than we'll probably ever be able to see or learn or do, but by golly, I'm going to try.
Yep. And I think that it is that decision, and it's making that. Okay, I get it. Where, like, a lot of people say to me, "Well, you don't have a mate, a partner, but I have a daughter and I have a cat." I mean, I do have responsibilities, my friends. But the thing is I make adjustments for that. When I go and I do something, I, make sure the cat's looked after and there's nothing important going on that I'm going to miss in my daughter's life. And it doesn't mean always traveling or sitting on the beach somewhere, because I barely leave home during the summer months because the festivals, and there's just so much going on here that I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. Just like Linda said, I want to soak it all up. Like today, I just said, yeah, I should be working on the site. I should be doing some stuff. And I looked outside and I thought, nah, ain't going to happen today. I can do that when the sun goes down. I'm going out. I'm enjoying my life. I was kicking up the leaves. I was playing like a kid. And I'm telling you, I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, you came back inspired and refreshed, and I bet you have clarity of thought, whereas if you tried to look longingly outside but trying to force yourself to work on a website or two, you probably would not have been productive.
No. No, and no. There, we'll just leave it there. The answer is no. Some people who envy other people's lives, I just want you to know that could be your life. It's the decision to change. We talk to people every day, Linda and I in our coaching, not only just entrepreneurs, because of our messages on both our personal pages and when the shift hits the fan and stuff, we do get people, connecting with us that are having a very difficult time. But, for the most part, they don't want they don't want to leave where they're at, because what's outside of that scares them more than what's inside of that. And what I said led off this is that it will be coming when the pain's big enough. But I see people that have aches and pains, physical aches and pains and headaches and everything, because they're in a bad relationship. And I sit there and I'm going, well, get out of there. Like, what could be? Well, then I'd have to pay my own rent. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's That's why people are not living the lives that they want to live, is because that's good enough. That's an answer. If you're hearing yourself with those kind of answers, then you know you're in big trouble. You ain't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. And, I know on many of our shows I've said this same thing, but I just can't express it big enough, that each and every human being has within them this enormous power that it seems like we barely tap into. I truly believe that we can be or do or have anything that we really want. I mean, really want. All it takes is the decision to go after it, and then that little bit of courage to take the first step.
Yeah.
And then faith in yourself, Mark. Just faith in yourself. Believe in yourself.
Yeah. And I think a good exercise for people, is maybe close your eyes one day and think back and think, if this were the end of my life, what are the things that I would regret not doing? I think that's an important thing, and look at it and say, you're living with that regret right now. Okay, because we just put it in a visualization inside your mind by doing that exercise. But the reality is, you're living with those regrets right now. And a life lived full of regrets is not a life that was lived. I challenge you to do something, I think, tonight is do that exercise and kind of list all of the things. List them all. List them as far back as you can remember. I regret not getting I regret not attending my high school graduation because I decided to go with the cool kids and didn't graduate. I regret, that wasn't me, by the way. Sorry, I'm just making stuff up here. I regret not having children. I regret, whatever it is. Go as far back as you can remember and, start striking that stuff off your list. Number one, forgive yourself because that's what happened. Don't carry it around anymore because you can't go back to your graduation. You could probably attend somebody else's in the back of the room, pretend it's yours if you wanted to, if you really wanted to recreate that memory. But strike it off and say, you know what, there's so many regrets. I don't want another one. I don't want another moment to go by that I'm going to regret anything in my life.
Mhm. Exactly. You hit on something too, Mark. Forgive yourself. Truly let it go completely. Just get rid of it. Forget about it. Forgive yourself, and tell yourself, you know what? I was doing the very best that I could at that time with the knowledge that I have or that I had, but now I know more, and I know that I can do more, be more, and have more. So that's a nice statement where you truly are forgiving yourself. You're not beating yourself up. You're not chastising yourself up over those regrets, but you're also giving yourself permission to move forward from here because you're wiser, you're smarter, and you know now that you can step out and do what you want.
Yeah, and that's power. That's the power that lives inside of you. And it's only because someone else or something else has taken it away from you. Someone took away your power one day, and you never allowed it to come back on again. You had a power outage, and you just didn't do anything that would fix that problem. So you
forgot to reboot.
Yeah, you didn't reboot the system. Or you tried to reboot it, didn't quite work, so, you gave up after the first try. I'm not going to say it's easy. I look back and I'm like every other human being on earth. I haven't lived a stellar life from the moment I was born. I've made some incredible stupid blunders in my life, but I don't live there anymore. I don't live there anymore, so I don't care about them. If someone from my past came back and said, remember when, I'd say, no, I have Alzheimer's.
Good for you. I love that answer. I think I'll write it down. Like, no. No.
Yeah,
And you know what?
you get a few stunned looks when you say stuff like that, but I do. I say exactly that. No, I have Alzheimer's. Can't remember anything.
And but I'm living a stellar life right now.
Yeah, I am. Like I love my life. And all of those things that happened in my past brought me to this day. Okay, I get that. Those failures I had, the things that happened, I cherish them now because they brought me to this day. And it's funny, Linda, we were talking on the weekend, and we're just planning all the stuff that we have planned for this year, and just getting so excited about where we're going. And it was funny because I was updating our site and doing some things, and total deja vu. And I thought, whew, we're on the right path. I know where I'm going. Like, I know when those things happen to you, you know you're going in the right direction. It's just that nudge from the universe. I don't know what really deja vu is, but to me, it's the nudge from the universe saying, just keep on going, babe. Just keep on going. And I do.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I love those nudges from the universe. You know, that's in my mind too. That's that little reminder from your intuition. Again, just nudging you to take action on that idea, because we were throwing around all kinds of phenomenal ideas, and we're both action takers, and so we've started taking action on that. But you know, when you have this idea, when you first have a new idea, even let's just go back to a brand new idea, or maybe you're reaching back and saying, you know what, I never acted on that idea, and it's come back around again, and you're getting excited about it. You're going to be given the necessary energy just to take the required action at that very moment towards the fulfillment of that idea. Now, Mark, so many people and so many times will push that aside, push that nudge, push that extra energy aside. They'll ignore it, make excuses. Oh, this will never work, blah, 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 blah. But what you're actually doing is pushing aside your grand idea. You're telling the universe you don't really want it anyway. And this, Mark, is what keeps people stuck where they are, and then they scratch their head and wonder why nothing ever improves. But I want everyone on the call to understand this, that this universal energy, this divine power, whatever you want to call it, is there for you. It's unlimited, and it truly is trying to give you exactly what you want. Stop ignoring it. Take those action steps that you're being nudged to take, even if it doesn't make sense right now. Once you take those steps and you're much higher in your levels of awareness and much closer to what you want or who you want to be, you're going to look back and go, oh, I get it now. I know why I made that left turn.
And things are going to come up in your life too. Like, for instance, when Linda and I first started doing this show, and we decided we're going to do this show this way. And we had a plan. We made a plan. We stuck to the plan. But there was lots of people that, come up to us, oh, you should do this, or you guys should do that, or, you guys should get sponsors, and you should be on the road, and you should be. It was like, yeah, that might be your plan, go ahead and go out there and do that. But we had a plan. And that's an important thing about this, too, is when you have a plan, I'm not saying ignore everything. I mean, you might entertain it. It might be a good idea. But when you have a plan and a direction and you know the steps to get there, and every step you take is solid and you feel good about it, don't let other people take that away from you either. Because some other people, they're not always thinking with the best intentions either.
Right. They may think that they have your best interest at heart, but nobody really knows your best interest. And a lot of times, especially if it's a contrary opinion to what you're doing, a lot of times what you're bumping up against is that other person's own paradigms or fears of making changes and doing things differently. and they're projecting that onto you, maybe even unknowingly. I mean, they may love you with all their heart, and they may be unknowingly trying to stop you from taking this next big quantum leap of yours.
Mhm. Well, and just tell them it's okay. I'm good flying without a net.
Mhm.
It's okay. And again, are there things in my past? I'm sure everybody can say that you think, "Gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that." Yeah, and they're probably going to happen again in my life. Doesn't matter. And I do think the bigger and the broader that you live it, the more likely you are to run into a wall along the way. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let that deter me.
You know what? That helps us grow and expand. I mean, we talked about this on our first September Success Series about mistakes are an integral part of your success.
Mhm.
So be grateful for these mistakes, these bumps in the road, because they're helping you learn something new. I mean, if you knew exactly how to do absolutely everything, wouldn't that be kind of boring?
Well, yeah, and people don't. I'll take having children. I only have one, okay, but it wasn't easy, right? It wasn't easy because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was a first-time mom, right? Who knows? Like, you can read every book, and then your kid does something entirely off the books, right? And you're just like standing there going, okay, and everybody expects, and you expect, like you make a mistake, and everybody, ooh, and I'm going, and then of course you have some people, not me, but some people have a second one. It's a little easier, right? They say it's easier, but the reality is you learned from the first one.
Learned from the first one.
Right,
Exactly.
so you had some knowledge, right? So there's nothing different from anything that you take on. Nothing. You're always going to be, you got to, and again, I'm going to bring this up again, you got to let your ego get the hell out of the way, because you're going to be wrong a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what you do. I mean, I put on the wrong time on our show. I put the wrong links on things. What? Am I going to go hide in the corner? Am I going to pout? No. I just fix it, move on.
Mhm. Exactly.
And I laugh
about it. We have
about
a good laugh over it.
Exactly. And we do. We laugh because I'm human. Linda's human. We're all human beings, and we're all just trying to do the best that we can. But some of us are sitting there being unhappy and unfulfilled, not doing the things that they want to do. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason for that. No matter where you live, who brought you up, who you're married to or not married to, how many kids you have or don't have. I mean, those were all choices that you made at one point or another. And there are different choices that you can make right now. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. You gotta have a plan, though. You gotta visualize, right? Where do I want to be, and make that plan. Commit to it, though. Oh, whole other show coming up here, folks.
Oh, yeah, new show.
New show. That'll be the next one. Commit to it, yeah. So we talked about this, Linda. We're almost at the bottom of it, but we talked about that burning desire.
Mhm.
And now we're talking about, taking some action steps towards it. And again, like Linda said, not expecting you, man, to like go from a hermit in a cave to, talking on stage type of thing. But if you're happy being a hermit, then be a happy hermit, right? I don't care where you're at. If that's your happiness, don't let anybody tell you it's different. But if you're sitting there and you're not happy, yeah, well, it's time you start thinking about this. So that's what I have to say tonight. Linda, off to you.
That's awesome, Mark. And I have tons of notes here on my desk of things that I wanted to talk about tonight. But as usual, we'll save some of this for another time. But I was reminded today of something that I read from Henry David Thoreau a long time ago, and this fits so incredibly well. What he said was, if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams. Now, to me, just that little bit of confidence, that faith, that belief in yourself that, okay, yeah, I can do this. It's big, but I can do this. So he says, advance confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined. He'll meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Thoreau's not telling us we have to be perfect. He's not saying, and you have to perfectly live this life. He's saying, endeavor. In other words, make an effort to live the life which you've imagined. You've built this beautiful picture in your mind of this life that you want to live, these things that you want to do and have. Okay, now step out and, as I say, act as if you're already there. Ask yourself, okay, if I were already doing and being this, how would I walk down the street? How would I talk to other people? Will I be complaining about every little ache and pain and every little thing that's going wrong in my life? Or would I be telling them how beautiful a day it is and how wonderful life is and how grateful I am that I have this opportunity to step out and do and be something great? Act as if you are already there. That's what Thoreau is telling us. And then he says, it's going to happen unexpectedly. All of a sudden you're going to look around and you already are that person. You have what you want because you have to be it first. You have to act it. You have to believe it. You have to visualize it, as Mark said. Build that picture on the screen of your mind. Get emotionally involved with it. Get excited. I love it when I'm sitting there and I'm building this picture and I'm visualizing it and all of a sudden I open my eyes and I think, oh, wow, you mean it's not already here? Because I've been living it in my mind, and our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And so the more you impress the picture of what it is you want to do and start taking those action steps as you see yourself in that picture, your subconscious mind is saying, oh, okay, I get it. You want more of this. Let me help you. Let me help you get there. It's all this energy going on, folks, and it's what you're wanting is moving toward you as fast as you're moving toward it. So the more action you take that you can think of to move towards your dreams, understand that those goals, whatever it is that you want to have or be, it's moving back toward you at the same pace. So when you're sitting on your dove saying, oh, I don't need to take any action today, well, okay, the universal energy is sitting on its dove too, not moving any closer to you either.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better, my friend. So we're going to be back here next week, and we're going to take you on this journey. And, yeah, we're going to talk about being committed to things because that's the other thing. People get excited about things. They start, and then they stop. We've done a session on getting unstuck. If you're in that position, it might be a good idea to jump over to our site and take a look at that, listen to that show because it was really good. And, just all you need to know is if you change your habits and you change your thinking, make incremental little changes every day, you're going to increase your chance of success. I mean, that's like, I'm not a mathematician, but it works. Like, I don't know all the quantum physics of the world. I just know it works. So I stand inside of that with, like Linda said, the faith and the belief in knowing that what I will want, it will be, because I'm walking in that direction. So, Linda, I don't know. I think there's not much more we can tell you guys. Well, we could tell you a lot of things, I guess. But unless you're willing to get up and go and move and do, well, here, Linda, let's just sit here looking at them.
I can't help it. This is pretty funny looking.
Yeah, just nothing's happening over there.
No.
They're just sitting there. Sorry, that's a wicked little angel on my shoulder, my friends. I'm so sorry about that. I want to thank you, everybody, for spending the time with us tonight. We hope that we've inspired you, empowered you, and that you're on your way to an amazing transformation. So from myself, Mark, here in Canada. Good night, my friends.
And thank you, everyone. So from Linda down here in Florida, have an amazing night.
Good night, everyone.